Welcome to Trading Lounge and the European indices, and starting with the DAX on the weekly chart here. From this wave 4 here, we've got wave 1 and 2 here, which is clear, and then we've got 5 waves up here for wave 3, and that's clear. We're still one wave short, so we have to consider all of this being wave 4 here, and if wave 2 is simple, then wave 4 needs to be complex. The Asian markets and the US markets have got their own patterns, but doing the same thing as well. In fact, in Asia, a lot of the markets such as Australia, India and the Nikkei have taken these tops out here. So we're working in expanded flat correction with those ones, but still all these tops here as wave 4 tops. So we're still one wave short. So we're pretty much on the right track with having wave 4 here and looking for another move to the upside here. What has been complicated is this move down through here. In some markets it's really quite sort of easy and simple, in other markets it's not. So in fact this particular wave B here can also be sitting here, and in fact it can also be sitting on that little spike there as well. So there's a few things that we don't know. But what we do know is that the move down through here is an impulse wave. We can track that 5-wave structure down. So I still think it's got another little bounce to go and another little move down through here. So I don't know if the daily chart's going. Okay, so this is this is the daily chart here. So we've still got more space to come here. This 11,500, as I've pointed out before, is what we call a medium level with the trading level. So it's halfway between 10,000 and 13,000, both major trading levels. So it carries weight, and we can expect this to be choppy waters across here before moving lower. So as I mentioned before, it's quite possible to even have a triangle in here for this particular pattern here and have wave B sitting on here and having this as wave 1 down. I've got it labeled wave 1 here in terms of 1 and 2 and 3 and a high wave 4 and a wave 5. It's possible, overlapping wave structures a little bit here. So there will be contention between a lot of Elliott counts with all of this here. But like I mentioned, if we understand what we don't know and work with what we do know, from wave 2 here down to wave 3 here, we're looking for 5 waves down at that point, and then we're looking for 3 waves back up for this wave 4, and then 5 waves down here. So we kind of know where we are within this particular space here, which is helpful. So on the 4-hour chart for this market here, just pull this in here. The reason I've got this line, I've got the retracement from this wave 2 here down to this wave 3 here. The 38.2% retracement level is higher up here, so at the 11,800. There's 2 things that I need to talk about here. Is that this little pattern in here can be an ABC. So from here we go an A wave here, a B wave here, and a C wave here. So it may only come up to here and then come back down here to finish this wave 3 and wave 5 and 3 off here, okay? And then move up for the A, B, and C, and move up into either the wave 4 1 lesser degree or up here. So I'll just go into the hourly chart and just point that out here. So what sort of bugged me a little bit is that this little move down through here, if you can see, it's in 3 waves here. So so it's corrective, so that means that this would be an A wave here, a B wave here, a C wave into this space here, and then we'll get one more move down into here, and then that's where this particular wave 3 and wave 5 would be sitting here. However, the 38.2% retracement level, as I mentioned, is higher, so that can take us up into this area through here. And yeah, well, if that's going to be the case, then I mean, that being 3 waves there, it just makes it very tricky. So yeah, I think the first count is right, coming back up into this space and then coming down through to here. If this is going to be the low here, then if I could just draw this over here, then would go up here for the A wave here, back for a B wave, and then up for a C wave here. So let's just see how it travels in the Asian session and see where it pushes the European futures market, and then we'll pick these charts up on the London opening. So moving on to the AEX, which is quite similar to all of this. So just starting on the weekly chart here. As I pointed out before, in this particular case here, not so much the DAX, but in this case we have pushed higher through here. So it was possible, I've got it as wave from here, we've got 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4 and possibly 5 here to finish the top off. But then the DAX hasn't done that, hasn't made a new high here. So we really need to line this up with the DAX and the other Asian and other markets around the world. So in this particular case here, we can look at this being wave A down here, wave B over to here, and then wave C down through to here. So I might just cut through to the, say, 4-hour chart and pick that trend up on the downside. So I was looking at it like this here, from the top here as 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 here, and then 3, 4 and 5 for the third wave, then the fourth, and then the fifth. So that's how I was sort of lining it up here, and then that would line up with the DAX. I could also have this blue wave 1 over here and this blue wave 2 over here, because the thing that bothers me about this here is that it's really such a big, it's very time consuming for a wave 2, which is not normally its place to do that. So, but if this is correct and this is a wave 2 here, then it's going to make this wave 4 here very simple, because normally we would see if wave 2 is simple, then we'd see wave 4 is complex. But every now and again you get wave 2 that's complex and wave 4 that's simple. So just looking at this on the hourly chart here, it's the same case here too. You see that little move here? It's like it's in 3 waves here. So I'm thinking that if I've got wave 3 sitting here, then I would have, this is an A wave and a B wave and a C wave for wave 4 here, and then moving down here. So in this case here, it will probably come, if I'm correct, it will probably come to this space here and then come down. It could go a little bit higher, but yeah. So really shorting the market through some trend line through here would be the go, because eventually it'll be pulled down to the 500 area at that stage. And this is the other part of it here. Once this is in place, 3, 4 and 5 for this 4, and then down from that point there. The FTSE as well, I'm just keeping to my original count in this market. Sorry, there we go. Okay, we're on the 4-hour chart here, so I'll just stay here for a sec. So wave 2 up here, and then 1 and 2 here. And then, look, I did have wave 3 and 4 sitting in 3 and 4 in here, and then we're expecting it to come down here. But on reflection and looking at in this little bit closer here, it makes a good third wave all the way down through to this point here. And wave 4, we've still got the same little pattern in here that the DAX and the AEX have got, and wave 4 and then wave 5. So we can expect a rally in the next session, do all that short covering, and then another push to the downside here, and 6-8 will be the mark there. We can expect from 6-8 a bounce back in 3 waves to 7,000 as the retest of supply, and then further down at that stage, which can take us down to 6,500. But let's just look at that when we get there. On the 1-hour chart here, this is how I've got it panned out here. I'm actually using smaller degrees here. I'm 1 degree smaller, so with the DAX and the AEX, I was looking at, like, this would be a blue wave here. But I've started with this 1 degree smaller business, and I'll just continue with it. It may be wrong, it may be right, it doesn't matter at this particular stage, as long as the counting is right. So I'm thinking here, the same thing here. See, we've got 3 little waves here, so I'm thinking that's a B wave here, so an A and a B and a C wave back up to 7,100 area, and then a move back down into this area here, then a bounce retesting to this area through here. So yeah, and of course the last one is we've got Italy here, which is a slightly different pattern again with this, but sort of same. Okay, so yeah, I mean, it's a slightly different pattern. I mean, Italy's had new government and they got bond spikes as well. So in this count here, I've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here. Okay, so I don't know if this is right. I just have to count it as I see it, and then wave 1 and 2 here, and 3 and 4. If I've made a mistake in here, then I would need to copy this and put wave 1 here and wave 2 at this particular point here, and then start building this as wave 3 here. So we can look at that a little bit later, but I just really wanted to track what we were sort of looking at here with this, and that means that this is 1 and 2 here and 3 here and 4 here, and then we're looking for 5 waves down here. Okay, so with that 5 waves down here, I'll look at that in terms of the 4-hour chart first. And this too, I could also be 1 degree higher as well within all of this. And also too, I had wave 3 here before and wave 4 over here. And then looking for a correction here, then a move down at that point. That's okay. I need to adjust that now. So I'm looking at all of this here being the 3rd wave down here, which would leave the wave 4 coming back up to the wave. So there'd be 5 waves in this structure. It's still a wave 3 and 4, but of a smaller degree. So a bounce off this area here and looking for a retest of the 20,000 area here before seeing a move down again here into the 18,500 area here. There is also, you know, there's a bigger sort of bearish picture for all of this, which I've mentioned before. So this is just the weekly chart here. So in this case here, like the DAX, we can go 1 and 2 and 3 here. The DAX never made a new high here. The AEX did, and this market did. So we've got that, you know, like very clear top there. So it's possible to have that as wave 3 there, and then wave 4 in amongst here, and then up for wave 5 here of C here. So we could do that, and then if that was the case, well, then this market would just continue all the way down here in a much bigger bearish market, and I'll show you that on the monthly chart in a moment. But if we line it up with the other European markets, then we're looking basically, in a nutshell, we're looking for another move down into this space here, and then a move up from here. So I guess that if we get support on the 20,000 area here, then we can go long from that point. Once we've got this low in place here, though, this low here, we can draw a line through there. Any breach of this next low in here, this one here, after this sequence here is finished, then we'll be looking to go short from that point. Because at that point, if it breaks through here, this wave 4 here will be too low in its process here. It shouldn't be that any lower than what it is here. Technically, the wave 4 can pull all the way back down to the top of wave 1 here. So until it breaches the top of wave 1, then it's possible to have this here. So yeah, at the end of the day with this market, that this has got a fair bit of wiggling and squiggling to do here. But at the end of the day, if it becomes support, then we'll be looking to be long. If it becomes the resistance, we'll be looking for short trades. It'll be simple as that. The major trading level number 2 here, the 20,000, will become the line in the sand. It's as simple as that. It's a bit like this here. So this would have its arrival reaction, first high above the level. So this here would be that top there would be the trigger to go long, and this one here will be the trigger to go short. That's, in my humble, simple mind, is the easiest way to handle situations if I don't know the count. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in, much appreciated, and enjoy the weekend.